Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And so some of you may have caught on that once in a while I am part of the Grateful Dead community. That is to say, I'm a fan. I've collected for a number of years. And with that, I've come across many other jam bands and other artists that are newer that kind of take that mantle a little bit. One of those artists is named Billy Strings. And he is generally an electric performer of bluegrass. And he is one of those flat-picking, super quick players. You know, he'll wow you with his playing. But his albums also do pretty well. He won a Grammy for Best Bluegrass Album in 2021 with his album Home. And I think he just did it again, actually, this year with a live Volume 1. So he does get acclaim for his playing and apparently also his writing and performing. So I know that he has a lot of fans. He's still a little bit underground to a lot of people, maybe the average listener, but he has a very ardent fan base, and I've heard him play before, and he's really, really good. There's no question about that. He has done a number of Grateful Dead style covers, among other things, but today we want to look at a song that he was playing at a room in a party, away from the party, essentially, just in a back room, playing an acoustic guitar. And the name of the song is Dust in a Baggie, and I think some of us can probably guess what that's about. I don't know who wrote the song. It might be one of his. I don't know. Maybe somebody who's watching can tell us this. But he looks quite different. He looks very clean cut. Today, he's got longer hair. He looks more like somebody who might be part of the jam community today than he did in this particular video. So I thought it'd be an interesting thing to look at, and somebody did ask for it. Turns out it's got 38 million views, so that's interesting. His real name is William Apostle, and this happened at about 3 o'clock in the morning on September 16, 2012, so he would have been just about 20 years old. So I just thought it'd be interesting to take a look. So Adrian, any thoughts ahead before we look at this?
Billy Strings, that's a new name to me.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to finding out about him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead, check this out, and then we'll discuss more afterwards.
That's the train, man. Train rolling.
Play that Ione tune you wrote. Not the one you played earlier.
What one?
Latest one.
Have you been playing on Simple Man?
I played that once.
It sounded fucking great to me.
I had to do it for a competition. It was a...
Oh, that's why I did that?
Yeah. I never played that
Play the
song.
latest one you wrote.
What?
That latest one you wrote.
I ain't slept in 7 days, I ain't eaten 3. This methamphetamine has got a damn good hold of me. My tweaker friends have got me too it wrong. These old jailhouse blues have got me singing this here song. My life is a disaster, man, and I feel so ashamed. Been here where they call me by a number, not a name. This life of sin, it's got me in. Lord, it's got me back in prison once again. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. And I've 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. This is fucking God. This life of sin, it's got me in. Lord, it's got me back in prison once again. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie. I use my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
You gotta love the room at 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
It's just they sounded half in the bag, all of them, except maybe Billy himself. That was great, though. And I like the guy in the back with the cargo pants and the T-shirt. That's like everybody I've ever played to in my whole life. You know, they had a Grateful Dead show for sure, but and then pulls out the old, that looked like a funny cigarette up there. I don't know what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Wishing
Not one
he-
of your standard brands.
That's right. That's right. He was looking like he was dying to light the thing up, but didn't want to on screen or something. I don't know, but that was pretty funny and a pretty good song too. It's kind of like that, you know. He's but you know, up here and doing all that. What'd you think of his playing, Adrian?
His playing was incredible. I was going to say he looks like something from a normal Norman Rockwell painting, but he sounds incredible.
Yeah. That's the thing about him. He's really quite a player and a very engaging performer. Now, I don't know how many times you've tried to play guitar like that and sing over it, you know, just to a camera like that. Usually what happens with most people is you cannot hear them singing because the guitar is too loud. With him, that was not a problem. I could make out all the words really well, you know, and hear his tale of woe over dust in a baggie, essentially. And it sounded great. Yeah, and I love that it's got kind of this country element, which, you know, back in the day, back in the Grateful Dead days, the funny thing about that was that it was the conservatives that listened to country music, and you weren't really supposed to, you know, as a hippie guy or something like that, weren't really supposed to be listening to country. And, of course, that changed, you know, in the 60s. The Dead were part of that, so were the Byrds, you know, Graham Parsons. But the thing of it was that at the time, people are looking at it like a betrayal a little bit. Like, what are you playing that Merle Haggard for? Didn't he write that song about Okie and Muskogee and all that? And I was just watching Abigail DeVoe does an excellent Vinyl Monday on her channel. If you haven't checked her out, go ahead and check it out. But she talked about the Byrds' Sweetheart of the Rodeo, which was their country album. At this point, the Byrds were this psychedelic folk rock band, you know, that had David Crosby. He had left. And at this point, Graham Parsons had come in as a hired gun and helped them change the sound a bit. And it was really a very country-sounding record. And it alienated their audience, and it flopped at the time. It did no good. Now it's considered a 5-star album. You know, it's on the Rolling Stones top 500 albums of all time. You know, and for good reason. It's a very good record. But at the time, the audience was just like, what's this? You know, what are you guys doing? You guys sold out or something? You know, and of course that changed a little bit within a few years. But the thing was, you know, I mean, then the Grateful Dead wrote American Beauty and Working Man's Dead. And that had a whole lot of, you know, pedal steel guitar and things like that, elements that were more the type of thing you would hear in the country community. And, of course, they do songs like Big River and lots of things, you know, that were more country-based. So, yeah, so it's funny, you know, you see Billy Strings like this with the short hair, but these days his hair is definitely shoulder length, you know. I mean, he's like I say, he looks more like a member of the jam band community these days. But he is an acclaimed artist doing some pretty cool stuff. I'm sure that it's a blast to go to one of his shows. I never have, but I'm certain of that. You know, I think I've seen a few live clips here and there. You know, I've run across his music, but never that particular song. So I just thought he'd be an interesting person to bring to the channel, you know, and kind of educate people of. If you've already heard of Billy Strings, let me know about it. Let me know if you've seen him or if you own any of his music, anything like that. I'd be interested in hearing you talk about it. You know, Adrian, do you have any closing thoughts on this before we head out?
I'm still thinking about that song.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's catchy too. You know, you can kind of remember
sure
this.
is.
You remember the story and you remember the picking and everything. I mean, not bad, not bad. So, yeah, if we were going to feature another one day, folks, why don't you let us know what you'd like us to check out? You know, because like I say, I'm not really that plugged in these days. I was really more listening to him maybe 5-10 years ago. You know, tapes were coming out all the time, recordings of his shows and things like that. And that's where I learned about him. But I've been a little out of touch. So if you have a favorite, let us know. Leave it below. If you have other details that you want to share, same thing. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe, all right? Thanks so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care, folks.
See you all later.